Part of being an adult is the ability to control your temper, the ability to control your anger. Oh, hell yeah, we all get angry. But what do you do with that anger? Listen, before we get into this video, don't ever let anybody knock you off your pivot like this. Don't ever let anybody take you out of your square like this. Don't ever let anybody drive you up the wall to where you react in a way that takes away your freedom, in a way where you end up hurting other people, severely hurting other people, especially innocent children, because you're trying to prove a point to somebody. This story, the headline says, here's a crazy woman. I don't really think she's crazy. I think she just lost control completely. Lake Wales woman runs over her boyfriend and a toddler during an argument. Now, you know, Florida, crazy is as crazy does. Somebody said Florida is bipolar. The weather in Florida is bipolar because you be in Florida chilling. Next thing you know, it's hot outside. It's 90 degrees. The sun is beating down on you. And then you turn around and you go down the street and it's raining cats and dogs. You can barely see in front of you. And then you drive 200 meters or 50 meters, not 200, 50 meters up another street and the sun's shining and it's calm again. And so they call the weather in Florida bipolar, but somebody said the weather is as bipolar as the people that live in Florida. I mean, a lot of stuff goes down in the state of Florida. I don't know if it's in the water, and I don't know if it's in the air or the food or whatever the case may be, the weather, the heat, but it happens. Now, a Lake Wales woman was charged with several crimes after she ran over her boyfriend and a child Monday afternoon, according to deputies' reports that were released to the media. The Polk County Sheriff's Office said that Aaliyah Ross, 27 years old, of Lake Wales, got into a domestic argument with the victim named Devon, who she ran over. And that argument escalated when Devon threw a cinder block into Aaliyah's Toyota Corolla. So, it made Aaliyah even madder. This is Sheriff Grady Judd. Sheriff Grady Judd said they were arguing, and him throwing that cinder block into her car made her even madder, and then she did what she did. Yes, he was wrong for throwing a cinder block in her car, but what she did after was way worse. So deputies said that in a response, Aaliyah Ross put two small children, a 4-year-old and a 6-month-old baby, in the car, got behind the wheel, and drove that car forward. She lunged at the man with the car, and he didn't move out the way, and she lunged at him again with the car. And then this time she fully gassed it and ran him over. Not only did she run him over, she ran over her own 16-month-old baby. So this woman might have been going through some post-traumatic stress, right? She might have been going through what women go through after they have these babies back to back. I forgot what the name of it is, but I'm sure a lot of people in my audience will put it in the comment section below. Postpartum depression. I know it is. Postpartum depression. I saw my wife go through it too. So she has a 4-year-old. She has a 6-month-old. And she also has a 16-month-old. So 16-month-old is a year and 4 months. She got a 4-year-old. Then she got one that's a year and 4 months. And then she got one that's 6 months. So back to back with those babies, she's probably feeling overwhelmed. She's probably going through some postpartum stress, right? She lunged again. She ran him over with the car. There were surveillance videos in the area, and the surveillance video showed the victim run from Ross before falling behind a fence. He was running from her. He was trying not to get ran over. The Toyota Corolla was then seen running over the man with the child. The fence was not enough to save him. She ran through that too, and she ran over him with the child. The detective described it as she just ran over them like bump, 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 run over him. According to Judd, Aaliyah Ross ran the car into her neighbor's home after hitting her own family. Her boyfriend was headed to the hospital when he called the suspect, asking her to take the toddler to the hospital. Now, mind you, this is the guy she just ran over. So they were in the house arguing, right? The argument got heated. He said, "You know what? I'm going to take the baby and go outside because I'm not into all this. We getting out of hand. Let me go outside and cool off for a minute." But instead of going outside and cooling off for a minute, he went outside with the 6-month-old baby in his hands, and he took a cinder block while he was outside and threw it into her Toyota Corolla, wrecked her car. She saw it, she heard it, and she got pissed off. So she took the 2 other kids that were in the house, she put them in the back seat of the car, and she went after him with the car, and she did catch him. Now, after she ran him over, he called her on his way to the hospital because he got up and ran, luckily. And he called her on his way to the hospital, and he said, "Take the baby to the hospital. I didn't take the baby with me. I'm running from you to save my life. I left the baby right there. Take the baby to the hospital." She said, "No, I'm going to leave him at the house." So she drives back to the house, and she puts the 6-month-old baby in the house by himself. And then she leaves. This is the baby she just ran over with the car. So this baby is injured. The toddler finally got some medical attention after his father returned from the hospital and then saw that the child was at the house and took the child to the hospital. The sheriff's office said that the child was in critical condition. The child had a broken left shoulder and a collarbone broken and multiple broken ribs and a partially collapsed lungs and abrasions and bruisings all over the body. Damn. And she took that child back to the house and left the child there. Aaliyah Ross made a series of incredibly unthinkable choices on Monday. Running over a man with a car while he was holding a baby, leaving the baby alone after the baby was injured, failing to get medical treatment for the obviously injured baby, and doing this while having 2 small children in the back of a car with her. Someone who does this to a baby will do it to anyone. Her uncontrollable rage is a threat to the public, is what the law says. Now listen, this is important because I want women to remember this. We can't have babies, you do. But I want women to remember this. When you lose your shite, when you lose your mind and you do whatever actions you do, that postpartum depression, the law is not going to take that into consideration. Especially if you are a woman of color. I'm sorry to say it, but it's so. Y'all know how the law works. They might be a little bit lenient towards somebody versus the others. Read between the lines. But like they said, someone who does this to a baby will do this to anyone. Her uncontrollable rage is a threat to the public. So what they're seeking to do now is take all her children from her and bury her under the prison. Attempted murder and whatever else charges she's got coming her way. Deputies actually tracked her down to her sister's house in Orlando, Florida. Detectives said that she told them that she has acted as if she was going to run over her boyfriend, but she would swerve at the last second to avoid running him over. According to the sheriff's office, Aaliyah Ross said that she thought that he would have moved out of the way. So she was just bluffing, but he didn't move. So he ended up, that's not going to help her either. He didn't move, so he ended up getting ran over with the baby. Judge said, you want to talk crazy? Well, here's a crazy woman for you. See, they're already calling her crazy. Nobody is looking at the fact that she has all these small children, and she had some of them back to back, and she might be going through something. The suspect's two other children, they were taken by the Florida State Department of Children and Families. So her children are in protective custody, are in child protective custody, CPS. And she's been charged with aggravated child abuse, aggravated battery, domestic, negligent child abuse, battery, domestic, and leaving the scene of a crash which had property damage. Oh man, she's gonna be gone for a while. They're not just gonna pick her up, dust her off, and give her kids back. She's going to be gone for a while. And in the meantime, her children will probably become wards of the state if there are no close family members like grandma or the father of the children to take those children and keep them. Again, let nothing and no one push you, knock you off your pivot, knock you off your square to where you just throw away your freedom, lose your mind, and then wake up like this. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. And sometimes, if your relationship is toxic, it's best for you to leave it alone, because people play with fire until they get burned. Oh, I'm going to act like I'm going to punch her, and then she's going to move her head and be scared. Or I'm going to drive after him with the car, but he's going to move out of the way. I'm really not going to hit him, but I just want him to think that. Here we go. Oh, I'm just going to point this gun at her, and she's going to be scared. But I'm not really going to shoot her, though. And then one day, you pull the trigger. Now you have a murder charge. You see that? Play with fire. You know the rest. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.